Hi, Martha.
Hi, good morning. How are you, Janet?
Good, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to interview you today. And congratulations on your two high-profile projects, The Cleaning Lady and The Gentleman. First, let's
Oh,
talk about The Cleaning Lady.
okay,
The
great.
show tackles a lot of issues that Filipinos and other immigrants face in the US.
Yes,
Now on its third season, what do you
yes.
think is the secret of the success of the show? And how do you see the arc of your character, Fiona, in this season?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor. In regards to, the success of the show, it comes down to the core of it, and which are based on family values. And, everybody in the show, it's all about family in terms of doing what's best. What are the best opportunities you can give for your family, and how far will you go? And I think that's where the twist that allows us to go through such a journey when it comes to what lengths does a mother go through for their child in order to save them, protect them. And yeah, it's been an incredible journey. So, and in regards to Fiona, I honestly I never know where her journey is going to end up, but it's been just such an incredible one where, she is dealing with a lot of Tony's actions and the consequences. So how she deals with it is always just an interesting point of view.
And representation in Hollywood is so important. So tell us about your initial reaction when you found out that you will be portraying a Filipina here and working with Filipino and film actors like JB Tadena, Princess Punsalan, and others, and even saying Tagalog words.
Honestly, to this day, I mean, we're season three, moving forward, and I'm still in awe of the fact that, things are really moving forward, and specifically for Filipino characters. I mean, never in my life I have thought that I'd be able to audition for a series regular lead that does portray for a Filipino character. So I am completely grateful to, Miranda Kwok, Fox, and Warner Brothers for just spearheading this diversity and representation that's moving forward. But it's such an honor to work with fellow Filipinos that are, also going through this amazing movement. But like I said, I think just the whole plight of this is to normalize it and for it not to be about representation, just the fact that we are, pretty much being represented on TV shows. This is the way the world is.
And so during the break times, do you eat adobo or somebody brings lumpia during the break time on the set?
Well, you know what? That's so funny because one of the actually Ronnie LaSalle, the Luca, the father, he's Filipino and he cooks amazing Filipino food. He dropped off a bistec one day because he knew how how stressed, like just how stressed our schedule is. So it was just so comforting that he did that. And my sister, who's also visiting right now, we just devoured it and we forgot about our diets and everything. So it's always just comforting just to have that, yeah, Filipino food around.
Does Miranda Kwok also ask for your advice regarding the dialogue or the set or anything very Filipino?
I mean, Miranda, yeah, she definitely asks if there is, anything that's needed to just allow more authenticity during the scenes. And for me, my father and mother were also visiting during the beginning of this season, and there were just moments where we needed the Filipino language to be, part of the script because that's just the authenticity, especially if Fiona's in the Philippines. We do speak English to each other, but I know that if you have to portray that. So yeah, but in terms of the set, I mean, Rochelle Berliner is incredible in designing the set. She even did Fiona's house, and without even meeting her, it just reminded me of my mother. Like, oh my God, how did she know that? So I mean, we just have such talented crew and people who work on the show that I'm incredibly grateful to.
Mhm. And so how is it working also with Miranda as the creator, director, and also with actress Elodie Yung?
They're both very, very spirited women in that sense of, they're very creative. And I think just the fact that they're so invested in telling an authentic story. Yes, there are all these explosions and everything, which is part of the entertainment, but at the same time, the heart of the show where it does involve, the Filipino culture or just the family in itself. They're very involved in how we portray those relationships.
Congratulations on that. Now going to the gentleman, you are a badass lady here
I
at
love that you say that.
a Filipino dealer in high-end sports cars that is used as a front to ship Colombian cocaine. I
Yes.
almost did not recognize you in this series. So can you tell us more about your transformation here and the backstory? What do you think is the backstory of Mercy?
For me, it was thanks to Neve Morrison, who transformed me with the makeup. I mean, I didn't have any idea in terms of how I was going to look. All I knew was what character I was going to bring to this person. But the fact that they chose blonde, I was so happy. I was like, yes, I want to be blonde in this. And then adding like the nails that the transformation itself was quite physical, that it was so easy for me to get into character. But there was just so much detail put into it, and so I really appreciate that eye and view from the makeup to costume to the vision. But in terms of Mercy, I mean, initially I auditioned for a very small role, and it was completely different from how it ended up. And it just, for me, I'm extremely grateful to the writers who wanted to explore this character in a different way, because initially I believe that she was Vietnamese, and then once I had auditioned, it transformed into the Filipino character, and it just, I really am so grateful to them for just embracing that, and I guess embracing my craziness as a Filipino, because I had auditioned initially with a Cockney accent and an Australian, and then Filipino, and yeah, I guess that just brought more power to it, or maybe because I don't know, my mother came through again through me. And that my mother's a very, very strong woman, so is my father, but that's why he's very strong.
So
Has to
you're
do with all
saying
of
it
us.
was inspired by your mom?
Well, no, not the machete or anything like that. Just her strength. My mother's strength is very soulful in that sense, and also I use it with Fiona and the cleaning lady, because I don't have children, so I always think of how my mother would react. And in the gentleman, I mean, she's just a fierce lady, so I've seen my mother in those situations. It was wonderful reliving those moments, but in a way that can be portrayed as something that's empowering. So yeah,
Right.
very proud of her.
So tell us about your audition process and what was your initial reaction when you found out this was a Guy Ritchie film?
Oh no, straight away I was like, because yeah, for me, yeah, I don't discriminate in terms of whether how big or small the role was. I just want to work. And the fact that it was Guy Ritchie, I said, I don't care. I want to tape it. And we had just wrapped season 2 of The Cleaning Lady. So as soon as I saw his name attached, it was just to audition and hopefully be seen was something that I wanted to do. And then even to get a call back, and everything was actually done via Zoom. I was still in Albuquerque at the time. And so I love how, things have changed, and COVID has upended the whole audition process, where I may not have been able to audition for this, years ago. You would have had to fly there, etc. And now it's like, so I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful, for casting and the show just to be open to those processes. Because yeah, it was like, I was like, yes, of course I'm going to audition for Guy Ritchie.
So did you have to read some of the lines of Mercy or? in front of Guy Ritchie, or how was?
No, actually, it was just tapes that were sent. So tapes that were sent, and then eventually, once the process, like there's an elimination process, eventually I got to Zoom with the actual director. And at that, this block of episodes were being directed by Nima, oh, I'm going to mispronounce his name, Nima Nizruba. Oh, I'm sorry. Nima, he's amazing. So he had actually auditioned me via Zoom and with Dan Hubbard's casting, and I was still in Albuquerque at that time, and it was just an incredible process because I know the time difference as well. So I was the last one apparently, and I was like, oh God, I hope at that point they're not bored or they're just tired. But it was just such a blessing to meet Nima and, you know, for Dan Hubbard to even just allow me to audition. So it was great.
So were you able to meet Guy Ritchie himself?
It was very quick and brief at the premiere, and it was just more like because he's Guy Ritchie, so everybody was clamoring there, and I was like, ah. So I don't even know if he realized it was Mercy, but I don't know because I wasn't wearing my wig.
So where did you film that scene on the sports car? And how was it working with Theo James, Daniel Ings, and Kaya Scodelario?
They're incredible. I mean, such professionals and just quite intimidating as well for me because it's the first time I'd ever worked in the UK or in Europe. So it was actually shot in London, and we were filming in a warehouse in the east side of London. And for me, you know, obviously Theo James, aware of his work on White Lotus, and Daniel Ings was just absolutely incredible in terms of, you know, I just didn't want to hurt him with the machete. And he's like, no, go ahead. I was like, okay. But he, I mean, all of them, and Kaya Scodelario was just so inviting. And Chanel Cresswell, excuse me, who played Daniel's wife or girlfriend in the show. They were just all so warm and inviting, and yeah, made me feel at ease. But honestly, it's just the film crew in London as well. They're just so much fun to work with, especially. And we shot a lot of night scenes, so it's quite cold in February and March, February, end of February. So it was wonderful to have such good positive vibes on set.
So how long were you there?
I flew out pretty much end of January to mid-February. So it was like about 3.5 weeks of filming. And I forgot, like, I'm Australian, so I should know that they drive on the left-hand side of the road. But I've been living in America for 25 years that I had to tell them, like, look, I don't drive on the left-hand side. So, and thank God they got a double for me. Who drives on the left-hand side of the road. So it was amazing, and just the mastery of all the, you know, the stunt doubles driving these cars was incredible. But again, like, it was just such an honor to work on a Guy Ritchie set and be in the same scenes as Theo, Daniel, and Kaya and Chanel. It's just wonderful.
So
Yeah.
do you find it empowering now holding a machete?
Well, I tell you this, I mean, like, it definitely, you know, coming from Fiona's point of view, this was definitely her dream, I think. It's such an empowering role, and I wanted to, you know, just bring a sense of humanity to her still, in the way that she will not be betrayed as a woman, as a person, and it will go at all costs. But yeah, it was, I mean, I'd never carried a machete before. I was like, we're not going to train. There's no. So for me, luckily, since I did gymnastics when I was younger and did baton, I was like, okay, cool. Let's just treat it like that. But it was such an incredible experience. And like I said, it's just working off of all the other actors is just what makes, you know, your performances stronger. So is exhilarating.
Did you have to practice?
The machete?
Yeah,
You're more interested in the machete, aren't you?
I love that scene.
See, this is where it's coming from, Janet. For me, like with the machete, I had to, look like I knew what I was doing with it. And thank God, the time that I actually had to, engage violently with it, it was off camera. But the logistics for that was wonderful. I had people like, just pretty much spraying blood on me while I was but it's called TV magic, and just the magic of imagination. But yeah, like I said, like the crew were just so kind in every way of just making sure that that I was okay. Well, I'm sure that the other person was okay too.
And so what's up for you next?
Well, I mean, for me right now, I'm just basking in the glow of both, the cleaning lady airing finally after, a long hiatus due to the strike, and the fact that The Gentleman is #1 currently right now on Netflix in the US, and along with I think 70 other countries. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna milk this right now. But I'm still here in Albuquerque filming. We're currently on episode 10, I believe, of The Cleaning Lady filming, and we've got 2 more episodes. So I wrap in April, and then I think I don't know, I'd like to just travel a little bit and just just de-stress.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Martha, and more power to
Oh,
you.
thank you so much, Jenna. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
And now here's Mr. Ruben.